This is the luxury world. Get inspired with us today and tomorrow. Rolex is one of the most well-known and respected luxury watch companies worldwide, and it has controlled the watch market industry for many years. The appeal of Rolex watches is that they come in a variety of types that are created and made for various applications and purposes. Most people who are new to luxury timepieces choose to launch a glorious new venture in the watch world only to learn that there won't be a Rolex that has been around and available for years, and there will be no other good options but to go on the waiting list to make sure they get the watch that they desire. People typically envision an order when they think of waiting lists. Order lists imply to potential customers that a timepiece can be ordered and will come following a specific delivery time. For those, this situation is frustrating, and for those who desire to purchase both a Rolex and a baffling one. Various questions and curiosities may arise in people's mind. Why wouldn't the business make enough watches for the people to meet the demand? Why have they developed the watch and the concept of the wait lists? The answer might be straightforward, because the waiting lists are kept up to date as part of the exclusivity and mystique of brands. The increased demand results in a higher price and increase when there are fewer watches sold, and this means that it makes the watches result in higher value and become priceless. Sadly, unless you are already a loyal customer or have some good luck, your chances of getting a Rolex at its list price are pretty slim. For every model, this is true. Rolex and its long wait list. For anyone who chooses to purchase one of the most well-liked watch models straight from Rolex, it's a bothersome subject. On the internet, you will find the strangest figures and conjectures about Rolex waitlists. But in today's video brought to you by the luxury world, we will tell you the most wanted Rolex watches at the authorized dealers and where the waiting lists for Rolex watches stand. These Rolex models are the one which the wait times have gotten out of hand. The following waiting list times are primarily theoretical and partly based on individual experiences. They do not represent official information that can be fully relied upon, much less applied to guide decision-making. Rolex Sea Dweller Deep Sea. Are you an admirer of the Rolex Submariner but feel the desire to push this model past its capabilities? The Rolex Deep Sea allows you to dive down to a depth of 3,900 meters, making it the perfect timepiece for even more demanding requirements. The Sea Dweller Deep Sea by Rolex is renowned for its graded blue and black dial, and due to its popularity, it got updated. It got a simplified casing and one of the newest movements, the caliber 3235. It's one of the best mechanical works by the brand, and the largest dive watch offered by Rolex is an ideal illustration of a design that people either love or detest, because either you love it or you don't. It's large, incredibly well made, and enthusiasts have pushed it to the very limit to own one. The engineering behind this watch is certainly outstanding. Fans have expressed gratitude, and that fact made you surprised that there is a lengthy wait list for the new model, as it could take up to 1 to 3 years. Rolex GMT Master 2, aka Batman. If Rolex Pepsi's design and technical features appeal to you, but you don't want to wait 20 years for your watch, you might want to think about the GMT Master 2 126710 BLNR as an alternative. The new Batman with a Jubilee bracelet, which was first introduced at Baselworld 2019, hasn't disappeared in Gotham, but it's unquestionably one of the most sought-after items in the watch industry and has a 3 to 4 years waiting list. Batman has been officially annealed for fame, and sadly, the balloon battle has been abandoned. It's a lesser-known version of the Pepsi brothers. However, with its blue and white design, it's still a well-liked and appealing model. This is the timepiece that is the first ever bicolor bezel produced from a single piece of ceramic, and this black design grabbed the attention of GMT Master 2 enthusiasts. For so many years, Rolex Batman was the sole bezel of the GMT Master 2 to become two-tone and stainless steel at the same time. The GMT Master 2 Batman was the first timepiece to feature a Cerachrom two-tone bezel, and the only material offered is stainless steel. This concept was immediately embraced by the watch collectors. Rolex Submariner Day, aka Hulk. The Submariner was created as a diving watch and is arguably the most well-known Rolex timepiece of all time. It was first introduced in 1953 as the world's first fully waterproof timepiece that could survive water pressure up to 100 meters below the surface. One of the most well-known timepieces in the world and one of Rolex's most well-known inventions, and sometimes mentioned as the most widely replicated watch in the world, is the Submariner. This ever-famous timepiece has exceptional water resistance and a flexible style. The Rolex Submariner 116610 LV model, known as the Hulk, features the special green dial and bezel, the successor to the smaller Rolex Submariner 126612 LV Starbucks, widely known as the Kermit. The green Submariner requires at least 3 to 5 years of waiting list for its potential purchasers because it's an unquestionable classic in the world of watches. 2020 saw the end of the Hulk, but its worth and appeal have continued to rise. This particular Submariner has a matching green dial and a green bezel, in contrast to the Kermit model, in which Rolex creates the aluminum bezel inlay. The Hulk's bezel is made of Cerachrom exclusive high-tech ceramic. We are aware of the cost of second-hand watches, and the steady status of Rolex Submariners progressively over time shows that its significant value will increase in the next few years. Rolex Cosmograph Daytona Panda. The Daytona was first introduced in 1963 and was given the famed racetrack's name. The watch has a much larger than normal tachymeter scale on its bezel because it was made for professional drivers. This example of form-following function contributed to Daytona's distinctive appearance. When Paul Newman, an actor and racing car driver, owned and wore a Daytona, it set the record for the most expensive Rolex ever sold when it fetched $17.8 million at an auction. Many people still now continue to consider it to be among Rolex's greatest products in a newly emerging industry typical for high-end sports watches. This is the first Rolex Daytona to possess a black ceramic Cerachrom bezel. The stylish yet sporty watch is a wonderful option for Rolex Daytona enthusiasts. Rolex Cosmograph Daytona is one of the most prized and expensive watches from Rolex, even though these watches are manufactured of non-precious metal. There is the Cosmograph Daytona Panda case, primarily constructed from shiny oyster steel with a typical case size of 40 mm in diameter. This watch is suitably sized due to its sleek case design, on wrists of all sizes. It borrows certain ideas from the earlier Cosmograph Daytona versions. The cost of a second-hand Rolex Daytona in the past 3 years has nearly doubled, as well as the waitlist for some new models like this watch that can last for up to 10 years. GMT Master 2, aka Pepsi. The GMT Master 2 reference 126710BLRO, which was unveiled at Baselworld in 2018, is one of the most well-known examples of the brand's most famous models as a result of craftsmanship. Since it began, Rolex has not produced its huge blue and red bezel with reasonably priced steel models, and huge fan anticipation was finally satisfied with the Magnificent by using high-tech ceramic bezels and the return of the new Pepsi in a steel case dial GMT. With its new watch, Rolex has nailed the mark with the blue and red GMT Master 2 was re-released in steel. With a traditional design, the watch looks timeless rather than just vintage, and this was in such high demand right away. The waiting list for this watch can take up to 10 years or longer. There is some timepiece that is easily recognized by the waiting list, and in certain instances, the list has become rather long that no additional clients can be acquired. Further on our list are the Rolex watches that are worth waiting for, like the Submariner 116610 single red lined, and the Sea Dweller, Sky Dweller 3269-34, which has a waiting time that could take up to 1 to 3 years. Numerous additional timepieces take you a long time to learn something new from Rolex. The standard Submariner can have a 1 to 3 years time frame for waitlist, whereas the much-needed no-date version and the connoisseur's favorite items will likely take 2 years or more. The lone redline Sea Dweller that has a water resistance of 4,000 feet has a waiting list of a year, and the GMT Masters all-black bezel 2 lasts from 1 to 2 years. Finally, the desired Sky Dweller models bearing the identifier 3269-34 are anticipated to have a wait time of at least a year. What are your thoughts on the most wanted Rolex watch that has a waiting list? Are they worth your patience and time to wait? We would like to see your answers and opinions in the comment section. If you like this video, we will be glad if you let us know that too. Don't forget to follow us and give us a thumbs up. Once again, this is the Luxury World, and we look forward to seeing you again in our future videos.